Hello there YouTube, my name is Chuggy and today I am playing some Battlefield 3. I'm playing some Tank Superiority on Bandar Desert, and today guys, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about Armored Kill. So the first thing I'd like to say actually, first of all, is a massive thank you. I did not expect sort of all the welcome back messages and whatnot. I was only gone a week and a bit, but thank you very much guys, your support is very much appreciated. And when I saw a lot of you asking for some gameplay of Tank Superiority, I was quite happy to oblige. So today what I'll be talking about is really Armored Kill and strategies that you perhaps need to be thinking about, certainly on console. Because as you can probably expect, with maps the size of these, and the fact that obviously we've got lower player counts and everything else, you need to kind of play these maps differently. Even perhaps differently to how DICE expected you to play them while they were being developed. The thing which I think a lot of people miss when they play games on these maps, be it Tank Superiority, Rush, or Conquest, is that these maps you need to play them with like a Counter-Strike or search and destroy mentality, in terms of you've got one move, or collectively your team has one move, and you've got to make it count. You've got to make sure that as a group of people, be it people you know or not, that you are in the right places at roughly the right times to be able to cover whatever the enemy's doing. And if you can do that, you can then obviously hopefully win the fight, whatever it might be, and hopefully take control of the fight early on. A lot of what we're seeing on console, I guess, playing these maps is obviously the low player count really is the hindrance, and I think it's pretty easy to say that we had Close Quarters as perhaps the console DLC, now we've got Armored Kill as perhaps if you're the PC piece of DLC. And personally I have no problem with that, we can't have it all. And I'll reiterate it, I was actually pleasantly surprised how well it did play on console, because I was expecting it not to be bad, but to certainly be a very much reduced experience on console compared to PC, where you can have 64 players and everything else. Now, having said that, there are kind of a few problems, I'd say, with the DLC at the same time, actually. Now I come to think of it, biggest being Rush. I've only played a few rounds, but just the fact that there are so many vehicles on the attacking side, that as defenders you've got to be really hot with the engineering work, or else you're in trouble. So perhaps something to look at a little bit later in balancing or something, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, something to be aware of if you're playing Rush is obviously you got to keep those vehicles at bay. Anyway, as I was saying before, it's like a Counter-Strike, one life mentality. You've got to get things right off the start, or else you're in trouble. And Tank Superiority really is no different. Long and short of it, if you're not aware of what this game mode is and how you need to play it, it's essentially one flag conquest, and that's pretty much what you can see now. You'll have one flag in a very open area, and basically you need to hold it. Same ticket structure as Conquest of old, except that obviously it's perhaps a little more focused on vehicles and controlling the wider area. And this is what you'll see a lot actually, or at least what I've seen a lot of, is that you'll have your tanks, your tank destroyers, your other vehicles run up, capture the flag, and then they will retreat to a safe vantage spot, say, and start to rain in shells the second the enemy gets close. The other thing that sometimes happens is strategic plays for land. Now on this map Bandar Desert there is this little base here, and in Conquest this is where the AC-130 spawns from. And if you can control this piece of land here, you will more than likely win out any Tank Superiority matches, because this is the best way to flank the enemy, just going around the outside of this base. If you can stop people doing that, you're in business. Now the other thing which I think a lot of people are perhaps missing out on when they play Tank Superiority is the fact that you don't need to be in a tank. In fact, I think you could be more useful on foot than in a tank, and not necessarily as an engineer. So the reason I'm uploading this gameplay is that, well, not only was it actually my first match of Tank Superiority, but I realised something halfway through as I was driving the tank destroyer, playing as an engineer, as I was doing all this stuff. It made me realise I'm doing the same as everyone else. And that means that there's a role not being filled, and of course hopefully you guys by this point realise that there's a particular role I like to play from time to time, and well, that is recon. And today I'm going to show you that the recon is very, very powerful on these new maps, and in particular in Tank Superiority. So as you can see, or as you have been seeing as I've been playing, I've been doing the fairly, if you will, standard stuff with vehicles in Battlefield, attacking other vehicles, trying to take land, eliminating threats. And so far that's kind of worked out. Team's got a nice big lead because we've had control of the flag, but at this point the enemy now has control. And I realise at this point I have no idea where the enemy are. All I know is that they're roughly in front of me. I have no idea where my teammates are, where the threats will be coming from. I'm kind of a bit, well, all out at sea. So I decided to make a change. I decided to change out to recon and do a bit of recon work, and it really did pay off. So the first thing that I changed is, obviously, since there are going to be so many vehicles about, is adding the Soul Flam into my kit. I don't normally run the Soul Flam, but I did. And that, well, you'll see, that really does help. The thing with Armoured Kill, obviously, is vehicles mean engineers, and engineers mean, well, rocket launchers, and in particular the Javelin. If you can use your Soul Flam to lock onto enemy vehicles, the Javelin will do more damage. And in addition, anyone with a Javelin can lock onto that tone, whatever you want to call it. So what you will see happening is a vehicle getting marked, and you'll see 3 or 4 Javelins perhaps from your team all heading towards the same target. And that's a good time for you as a recon because you get a lot of points. Now the other thing that you can start doing, and look, there you go, there's a mark on the left of the screen straight away. The other thing that you can do as a recon, obviously, is spot. And as I've talked about before, recon's main role is reconnaissance. You need to make sure your teammates know where things are. And look what I'm doing. I'm spamming the select button on PS3, I think it's Q on PC, and the back button on 360. I'm spamming the button as much as I can to try and get enemies highlighted on radar, and you can see they're making a very serious push for this base on the, I'm just trying to use the compass direction, base on the right, let's just say, for want of a better term. And if they can gain ground, take that base, we're in trouble. So now that I'm aware of that, and hopefully my team are aware of that, you will see, we will start to make a slow but steady push to that right hand side to block them, so they can stop, or to stop them from boxing us in. However, the first and most important thing that you need to do, of course, is play the objective, and here I am doing that. And it looks like one of their T-90s decided to do the same thing. Unfortunately, my tank destroyer gets pretty much destroyed there. Their tank, luckily, does get destroyed, and I decide, okay, let's see what work we can do. So I'm on foot at this point, and as I've mentioned, these areas where the flags are massively open, not much cover or anything at all. So I want to get out of there as quickly as possible, but I want to do it safely. So, as with many things in Battlefield, you want to take stock of what you're doing and try and figure out what the next best move is, thinking before acting. And I know that there are enemies over on the right, over in this little base here, so why rush over to it? More than likely I'll get caught. Luckily, I did see someone. I was able to put them down before they put me down, thanks to the virtue of range, and obviously a sniper rifle's better at range than an assault rifle or something. And I won that fight. And then just all you'll see me do from here on in really is recon as best I can, using the Soul Flam to spot enemy vehicles, to call out targets to the team, and to actually use the rifle to, again, do reconnaissance work and stop the enemy engineers, or whatever it may be, from doing more damage to us. Now, perhaps an advisory here is you'll see that I'm actually using the 8x optic on my L96 here. You can see I'm having some difficulties. I should have thought about this. To be honest, I don't particularly get on with a 12x sight on any of the sniper rifles, if I'm truly honest. But actually, the 8x I just can work with for whatever reason. Just, I don't know, difference in magnification. But definitely a 12x would make you a lot more accurate. So you will see me missing quite a few shots, but I really didn't mind that, to be honest. There was so much going on in various areas of the map, and because the map was so large, you could kind of get away with being a little less disciplined. And you can see me, I'm making ground on this right hand side to the point where I'm almost up on the enemy line, or at least what I think is the enemy line, and I'm starting to try and make a dent, destroy their equipment, get things marked. It's all the things that a recon should be doing. And you can see the ground that I've made from me putting down my Soul Flam on that ridge over on the left now to where I am now. And you can see, because I'm keeping a bit of a low profile, spotting enemy vehicles, whatever else, I am keeping my team informed, and we are putting ourselves in the right position to deal with whatever's coming along next. And you can see they're making another significant move for the flag, which is good. PTFO is what we like to see. But because there's reconnaissance out there, rather than just brute force, we are able to deal with it, so it's all good. So really, what I want to say here, without, I don't know, describing move by move what I'm doing, is that there's more to Tank Superiority than just tanks and engineers. And certainly the recon is very, very effective, more effective than I thought it would be, to be honest, when I initially thought, heck, we need some information on what's going on out around the fight. So really my piece of advice, and to be honest, this could apply anywhere, but think laterally sometimes when you're playing games. You may be surprised how well something could work out. So yeah, recon all the way in this, even though they don't stand a hope in hell if they actually come across a vehicle. But, you know, play it smart, keep yourself positioned tactically, and get that information out, play your role for your teammates, and you will be fine. So yeah, Tank Superiority, it's an interesting game mode, it's a lot deeper than a lot of people think, and it's an enjoyable one. Certainly I could see, well again, I'm going to repeat myself here from my first Armoured Kill video, I can see the PC having a much more interesting time with this based on more players, but not to say that it's bad on the console, far from it, it's very, very good indeed. So that's pretty much all I actually really want to talk about, you know, regarding Armoured Kill and Battlefield today. What you'll be seeing from me in the near future, I guess, is something I should perhaps talk about. We're starting to get into another bit of a games rush, so there's all sorts to look forward to, I guess. So, first of all, I'm starting a new Let's Play. I'm going to keep it secret perhaps until Thursdays, when you'll probably hear me talk something a little bit more about it. And by all means, have a guess what it is. I asked out on Twitter, this was on Saturday, I announced it, and I said, you know, any guesses? Can anyone figure out what it might be? I had a few good guesses, but none were correct, and I'll give you a clue. It's a game which is dear to my heart, I've talked about it a few times, and it is not a new game either. It's been recently remade, so I'll say that. So there's a new Let's Play starting on Friday, and yeah, keep an eye out for that. And question time will be next week, question time part 17. So if you haven't submitted your questions yet, head over to question time part 16 and put them in the comments, and we'll go from there. So anyway guys, yeah, that's pretty much the game, and I hope you've enjoyed the commentary, I hope you've enjoyed the game. And really guys, just thank you again for your great or welcome back messages. I really didn't think I needed anything like that, but no, great motivator, thank you very much guys. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you could leave a like, dislike, whatever you believe the video deserves, that'd be fantastic. If you've got any tips you want to share about Armoured Kill, feel free to do so down in the comments below. And if you want to see some more gameplay from me, and perhaps my new Let's Play, you can always subscribe. Anyway, for now guys, I've been Chuggy, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time, out on the battlefield.